And what that's setting up on the backside with Brandon Ayuk here, they're going to be running this in route or this dig route where he's going to be getting upfield, breaking at about 15 yards. We're getting really deep here. And now he's trying to get above the linebackers, but welcome back to XP Camps. We educate the next generation of athletes about sports through gaming. If you're looking to improve your football IQ this offseason or find an affordable way to support the content we do here at XP Camps, I recommend you check out our courses at xpcamps.com. Our courses break down over 200 real-life concepts in Madden, so every time you load into the virtual gridiron, you're getting real-life reps on concepts your coaches want you to learn. Become a better, smarter football player, guaranteed, and click the link down in the description to start training today. Now, let's jump back into the video. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the pro-style offense. Now, the pro-style offense isn't as defined as the West Coast offense, the spread offense, or some of the other offensive schemes that you see out there. The reason that we're breaking down the pro-style offense first is because it's a balanced attack between run and pass, and it's very popular amongst the younger levels of football, which is a large part of our community. XP Camps is now going out in person, coaching real-life athletes about football through gaming. If you haven't checked out our last video yet, I broke down some of the ways that we integrate into camps. Now, if you want XP Camps out to coach your team up this summer, make sure you click the link down below in the description and check out some of the ways that we've been integrating into teams. Now, if you're one of the few teams that commented on the last video, we have responded to those comments and are trying to set up some calls right now in order to help your team and see what solution best fits you. So if you're one of the few people that commented on the last video, make sure you check out the comments and get back to us. Now, the other reason that we posted less on YouTube over the summer is because we're going to start posting more of these scheme style breakdowns, where rather than breaking down one or two concepts, we're going to start breaking out entire schemes. So we're starting with the pro style scheme, but we want to move into the spread offenses and the West Coast offenses as the summer progresses. So the videos may be coming out a little less, but the quality is going to be a lot higher, and we're going to be covering full schemes that I believe will help coaches and players understand these schemes better. So for this video, we put together a 25 play pro style scheme that you can run in Madden and in real life. Here are a couple plays that we pulled from the scheme. If you want to see the full playbook, I'll have that link down in the description as well. But without further ado, let's jump into it. In this section, we're going to be breaking down a simple two-route concept that you can use to attack a cover 2 coverage. So we're going to be breaking this down out of the single back formation using 12-man personnel. So we're going to select this formation and scroll down to the smash concept that you can see on the right side of my screen. So we'll select that, and then we will select a random cover 2 coverage. And now we're in it, so let's jump into replay mode and see why this works. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now the defender we're looking to attack in this coverage is going to be number 23 right here, the cornerback. This cornerback is going to be defending the flat, so they're going to be in the light blue zone, and their responsibility is to defend from the numbers to the sideline, and they're defending the flat, so they're not going to get too much depth, maybe 15 yards in some versions of this coverage, but mainly they're going to be staying close to the line of scrimmage, defending this flat area, all of the short routes over here in this area of the field close to the line of scrimmage. And so we're going to be sending 2 routes at number 23 to put them in a high-low read and try to stress them out. The first route that we have is going to be ran by number 19, Deebo Samuel, right here on the outside. Deebo's going to be running a hitch, which is a shortened version of the curl route. Remember, the curl route is number 4 on the route tree, so it's when you're breaking to the inside and facing the cornerback, or the quarterback, excuse me. Well, typically when you're running the curl route, you may get 10 to 12 yards of depth. Well, with this hitch route, you're just going to get 5 yards of depth and then break and face the quarterback just like this, break towards your inside shoulder. And so now number 23 is stepped up to the line of scrimmage, defending this hitch route, and it's setting up the inside route that we have right here being ran by George Kittle out of the slot. So George Kittle is going to be running a corner route, and remember, the corner route is number 7 on your route tree. And so what George Kittle is going to do here is he's going to get vertical. He's going to try to get above this quarterback, or excuse me, this cornerback, and he's going to be filling in this open grass right here. So he's going to be occupying the space above the cornerback, but beneath this deep half right here. And so for Brock Purdy, he's just going to be reading this cornerback, if this cornerback steps up and guards Debo, or is this cornerback going to sink back and pick up George Kittle? But they're not going to be able to do both. And especially if you get really good spacing here from your tight end and your hitch route, there's going to be too much ground to cover where number 23 either has to sink to take this away or step up and take the hitch route away. In this example, he took the hitch route away, so George Kittle was wide open for an easy pitch and catch. Now, these are the only two routes you need for the smash concept, but I did want to highlight one more route, and it's going to be ran right here by number 89. So in a cover 2 coverage, this deep safety has to defend from the middle of the field to the sidelines, and then this safety also has to defend from the middle of the field to the sidelines. And so it's a lot of ground for these safeties to cover. So typically deep over the middle and deep towards the sideline will be open in this coverage. And so what we do here with this tight end, that's this inline tight end, they're going to be running a streak right up the middle of the field. And so what we're trying to do with this route right now is really stress out this deep safety right here, where this safety now has to choose. Do I want to shade towards the inside and take away the deep middle, or do I want to shade towards the outside and take away this corner route? Well, they don't really do either here. They're just hanging out in no man's land in between both routes, where they could step up and make the tackle if needed, but they're not going to deny the football from either route. And so this is another route. Again, you don't have to run it with the smash concept. This corner route and this hitch route will be enough. But if you really want to keep this deep safety honest and prevent them from leaking over too much and taking away the corner route, just send this streaker right down the middle, and it'll keep this deep safety honest, so this corner route can become even more wide open. Now we're going to be taking a look at the smash concept out of ace slot with 12-man personnel. Now, this is going to be the same smash concept that we did when we did our ace breakdowns under the single back, but again, just wanting to show you how you can run the same concepts out of different formations with different personnel groups, but still get the same result. So we have a cover 2 coverage because that is the coverage that the smash concept works best against. And so let's take a look at this really quick. Again, what we're trying to do is target this deep safety in the deep half for the cover 2. And so they basically have to decide, do I want to go towards the middle of the field and guard this streak route, or do I want to fade towards the sideline and guard this corner route? And then these cornerbacks underneath have to decide, do I want to step up and guard Ayuk on the hitch route, or do I want to sink back and guard Debo on the corner route? But I can't do both. And so now we're going to read this from high safety down to cornerback. So first we're looking at the safety. They're frozen in no man's land. We deliver a strike over the middle of the field. Easy pitch and catch. If we were to do this again, we're reading the safety. They're really going to just keep getting caught in no man's land because there's so many routes on the field for them to cover, and they're attacking the two weak spots on this defense, which are deep over the middle and close to the sideline. So we could really get either route all day, where we're just either attacking deep middle or we're attacking close towards the sideline. When you're attacking deep middle, you also have to read this linebacker right here with the M over them. They're going to be the pull runner, so they're going to be getting some depth. You really just need to wait for this tight end to clear the middle linebacker, and it should be an easy pitch and catch. And then if we still wanted to read this cornerback, let's say for whatever reason, middle linebacker gets enough depth to cover the streak down the middle, and then the deep safety over the top is able to get towards the sideline and cover the corner out. Well, now we're just reading this cornerback down underneath, who is still just really camping out down there by Brandon Ayuk. But these are the reads that we would be making for this. Maybe if we throw it early, we're able to get the little check down there with Ayuk, able to make a man miss and get a huge pickup there. But this is how we would make these reads. Now with the smash concept, it is a 2-route concept. You only really need B and X. I feel like what makes this concept work even better is having Y streak right down the middle, just because it really stresses out this deep safety of, do I want to defend the deep middle or deep towards the sideline? But I can't do both. And so oftentimes it just leaves this deep safety out in no man's land where they're not defending both, and then both routes end up being open. Now we're going to be breaking down a passing play out of I form with 22-man personnel that's building off of your running game. So out of I-form tight here with the 22-man personnel, we're going to select play action power O, this play action pass on the left side of our screen. And then we're going to be selecting a random cover 3 play. And now we're in it, so let's jump into replay mode and see why this works. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now the defender we're looking to attack here is going to be number 91. They're going to be in the purple zone in a cover 3 coverage, which is called the curl flat. They may also be in a purple zone called a quarter flat in a cover 4, which functions sort of similarly, so this concept can work against both coverages. Now, with number 91, they are responsible for covering all of the short and intermediate throws from the numbers out to the sideline, and they're really helping their friend in the deep third with all of the short and intermediate passes thrown underneath them. And so what we're going to be using is a play action flood play to attack this cover 3 coverage. And so we've broken this down a bit in the single back, but just for a quick recap, what we could do here on the front end is we have Brock Purdy, who is going to be faking like they're going to run the ball. We're doing the play action fake, remember, where you're faking like you're running the ball when you're actually passing the ball. So Brock Purdy's gonna fake it right here, and then we have 3 routes that make up the flood concept. The first route is going to be this outside wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. They're gonna be running a streak, which is number 9 on the route tree, and they're just going to be trying to clear out this deep third, Jair Alexander right here. So with Jair Alexander, his responsibility is to not let anyone beat him over the top. So if Brandon Ayuk gets past him, it's going to result in an easy touchdown for the offense. And so Jair has to sink here and respect this clear out route. We call it the clear out route because essentially Ayuk is clearing out Jair Alexander. And so now we can focus on the person that we're attacking, which is going to be number 91 here in this purple zone. So we're going to attack him with a high-low read with 2 different routes. The first route is going to be this flat route out of the backfield with our fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. So on this play action fake, he's going to be running a flat, and he's going to be leaking out and occupying the space in the flat, which is just off of the line of scrimmage, which is the blue line on the screen here. And then the second route we have is going to be a corner route by George Kittle right here, number 85. And so George Kittle, his responsibility is to get above number 91, but beneath the clear out route, which is Jair here, number 23, and Brandon Ayuk, number 11. So George Kittle just has to fill in this open space right here, this green grass. And so now number 91 has to choose. Do I want to sink down into the flat and pick up Kyle Juszczyk? Or do I want to sink back and pick up George Kittle, but I can't do both? And so right here we see number 91 stays in the flat with Kyle Juszczyk, and that leaves George Kittle wide open in between the flat route and the streak route being ran by Ayuk, and it's an easy pitch and catch for a pretty large gain. And so now, again, the read here is number 91. Number 91 could also sink and get enough depth to cover this corner route, and that would happen in most instances in the purple, whether they're in a curl flat or a seam flat. And if that's the case, then all you have to do is just dump it off to your check down right here, number 44, and pick up your yardage. It may be 5 to 7 yards if this number 91 player is getting really, really deep. But that's how you would run the play action flood against a cover 3 coverage out of I-form with 22-man personnel. Now we're going to be breaking down the flood concept out of a slot using 12-man personnel. So we broke down the flood concept in our I formation out of 21-man personnel, and now we're doing it out of shotgun with 12-man personnel. So why we're breaking down the same exact concepts is so that we can reinforce to your quarterback and your wide receivers how these reads and concepts work. And so we're hoping that if we show them this in different capacities with different formations and different personnel groups, it'll reinforce to them how these concepts actually work and how these reads actually progress. And so we're just trying to reinforce it by showing it to them in different capacities. So we're going to select the flood, and then we're going to select the cover 3 coverage because this is what this concept works best against. And now let's break this down in real time. So on the outside, we have Deebo Samuel, who's trying to clear out this deep outside cornerback so that we could start making some reads underneath. So they're going to be running this streak taking this cornerback with them. And then we're going to be targeting the curl flat defender underneath, who's lined up right over Ayuk right now in the slot. And so this defender has to make a decision. Do I want to sink back and defend Ayuk, or step up and guard the flat route being ran by our tight end off the line of scrimmage? And so if we snap the ball, we're really just reading this guy. He steps up to the line of scrimmage, Ayuk is open, and we're able to get a nice big chunk play out of that. I think we got about 15-ish yards there. If we run it again, same thing. He's down in the flat. We throw it to Ayuk right over the top. Easy pitch and catch. This can be either a deep out route or a corner route being ran by Ayuk. But now, if we were to run the flood concept, but we were able to choose a different cover 3 where this time the cornerback sinks. So let's pick something like cover 3 sky. Now, the same thing. Clear out route on the outside with Debo. We're reading this defender right here in the curl flat. Now, they're getting some depth with Ayuk. We dump it down. We're able to get a nice 7-8 yard pickup right there. So if you're running this concept on first or second down and you're getting about 7-8 yards here, right here we're able to get about 6 yards, you're still way ahead of the chains on first and second down, where you're setting up your offense to be in a good spot later in the chains here when we get more to like second, third down instead of first, second down. So you could take this check down all day if this defender decides to sink back, and if you get a missed tackle like you do right there, you're able to pick up 10 to 12 yards. So this is how this flood concept would work against a cover 3 out of the A slot, where we're in 12-man personnel out of shotgun rather than in I form with 21-man personnel. If you want to copy this scheme for yourself and show it to your team, I have the full playbook posted on our website right now. The link is down below in the description. We'll be adding more plays as the summer goes on, so continue with the feedback of some things we may be missing in the pro style or some things that we may got wrong. We're more than happy to go back and tweak this scheme so that it's absolutely perfect by the time your team hits the field in August. Now, let's jump back into it. Now, we're going to be breaking down one more passing play out of the I form with 21-man personnel that is also building off of the inside zone run that we broke down earlier. So I'm going to again select I form pro, and then we're going to scroll over to this play action wide receiver in play. We're going to select that, and then we are going to select a random cover 3 coverage. And now we're in it, so let's jump into replay mode and see why this works. Alright, so here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now I wanted to break down 2 play action passes that you could utilize building off of the inside zone that we showed you in the previous section. So to start it off, we have the play action, which again is just you faking like you're going to run the ball when you're actually passing the ball. And the reason that we do this is to try to either get the defense flat-footed, which means that they're standing still trying to determine if it's a run or a pass, or we're trying to get some overzealous defenders who may come up to the line of scrimmage and try to stop the run play, and it just completely takes them out of pass coverage. So 2 really big benefits to running the play action pass. And now there's 2 routes that we want to really focus on for this. The first is number 85, George Kittle, and the second will be coming from number 11, Brandon Ayuk. So with George Kittle, he's going to be running a drag route. A drag route is similar to the flat route, except it's an in-breaking route. So what you're going to want to do here is at the snap of the ball, George Kittle comes off the line of scrimmage, and you could see it's similar to a flat route in the sense that you want to keep it close to the line of scrimmage. We're only getting about 3 or 4 yards worth of depth here, and it's an in-breaking route. And so this is what the drag route would look like when you're running it. You could think of it as the inverse of a flat route, or you could think about it as sort of like the cousin to the in route, where it's an in-breaking route. You're keeping it close to the line of scrimmage. The break is a little bit softer. It's not as much as a 90-degree break like you would see with an in route, but this is what the drag route looks like from George Kittle. Now the purpose of this drag route is we're trying to bring these defenders down towards the line of scrimmage. You could see it right here with this linebacker number 7, which is exactly who we want to target on this. So number 59 is sinking. He's getting some depth, he's getting deep, and number 7 should be doing the same thing. where we're getting some depth and we're mirroring what number 59 is doing, just on the opposite side of the field. Well, number 7 sees this drag route, so he steps up a bit towards the line of scrimmage. And then we also have CMC. Even though we did the play action fake to him, he's also just going to leak out here and run a little curl route where he's just facing the quarterback after he gets 5 yards deep. And so now number 7 with the play action and these 2 short routes is way up on the line of scrimmage. And that's really what we wanted out of this drag route, is to get number 7 and number 52 to come up towards the line of scrimmage and defend this route. And what that's setting up on the backside with Brandon Ayuk here, they're going to be running this in route or this dig route where he's going to be getting upfield, breaking at about 15 yards. We're getting really deep here. And now he's trying to get above the linebackers, but beneath these defensive backs, these 3 deep players in the cover 3 coverage. And so if we look at this from Brandon Ayuk's perspective right now, we see all of this open grass right here for him to run into, because George Kittle on the drag route dragged down these linebackers, and these safeties are just concerned about getting beat deep and they don't want anyone to get over the top of them. So Brandon Ayuk is going to fill in right behind the linebackers here for an easy pitch and catch. And so this is going to be an easy read for your quarterbacks. It's really just a high-low read on these linebackers of, are they going to step up and defend this drag route, or are they going to sink back and defend this in route? But they're not going to be able to do both. And then a couple of other routes that I will highlight on this play is we have Juszczyk right here, who's again going to be in the flat. Same responsibility as the play action scissors play. And right here, these are just our dump offs. So if everything goes wrong and for whatever reason Ayuk is not open, we have George Kittle running into this flat. We have Kyle Juszczyk, our fullback, running into this flat. And then we also on the play action had Christian McCaffrey here running a shallow little curl route right here off of the play action fake. And so we have 3 short routes on the field, and then we have 2 deep routes on the field. If for whatever reason this safety crashes all the way down to pick up this route right here on the deep end, we have Debo running a post route to fill in as well. So this safety is also sort of in a high-low read where, do you want to crash down and take away this deep end route, or should you stay at home and take away this post route? So there's a lot of things going on in this play to ensure that we do get Brandon Ayuk open. And if he, for whatever reason, isn't open on the dig route, we have a lot of options at the lower level in the dump off area. And then we also have Debo Samuel keeping this deep safety honest so they're not cheating down and taking away this in route. Now we're going to be breaking down some simple 2-route concepts that you can use out of the ace formation with 12-man personnel. But the play we're going to be breaking down here is going to be this tight end under, which may look familiar to you. I'll break it down in the replay mode of why it looks familiar. And then we're also going to select a cover 3 coverage for right now. And so now we're in it. So let's jump into replay mode and break this down. All right, here we are in replay mode breaking this down. Now with this tight end underplay, the people we're looking to attack are the middle linebackers in zone coverages, and we're trying to put them in a high-low read over the middle of the field. Now the reason I said this play might look familiar to you is because in our I-form breakdown, we did play action wide receiver in, and if you remember, George Kittle was running the drag route, and then we had Brandon Ayuk on the backside running that deep in route. And so if the linebackers stepped up to the line of scrimmage to defend Kittle, then we had Ayuk open over the top, and then vice versa. If they sunk too deep on Ayuk, then we were able to dump it down to George Kittle. And so it's the same exact idea here. And really what we're trying to do is, one, create simple reads for our quarterbacks where it's a simple high-low read, and these younger level quarterbacks are starting to understand how to read and work their way through progressions. And then the second thing we're trying to do is show the offense as a whole that there's multiple ways to get the same exact outcome. So with the wide receiver in, the with the wide receiver in play, the wide receiver was running the deep in route, and then we had George Kittle running the drag route. Well, it's the same exact principles here. So if we look right now number 89 is going to be running the drag route, and then Kittle on this side of the field is going to be running the deep in route. And so if we look at this right now, again, we're really trying to target these middle linebackers over the middle of the field. And so if we were to read them really quick, number 7 here, we snap the ball, and number 7 and number 59 are getting a lot of depth. They're actually standing right in the way of where George Kittle is going to break. So if we were to focus on George Kittle's route first, he gets about 10 yards upfield, and then when he's gonna break, he's running right into Campbell, and then we have Quay Walker here as well, just getting a ton of depth. And so now we make the opposite read of what we did with the play action in play that we showed, where we were hitting Ayuk deep. Now we're looking at number 89, and we see he is wide open underneath here. Ayuk is also taking this curl flat defender in the purple zone, number 34, and Jair Alexander deep with him as well. So number 34 is getting a ton of depth, number 23 is getting a ton of depth. These two players are taking away George Kittle's in route, and that just leaves a wide open dump off underneath for number 89 on this drag route to catch it and then work his way upfield, and we're able to get about 9 or 10 yards on this completion. So again, a very simple high-low read for your quarterback, but now instead of having Ayuk run the deep in and having Kittle run the drag, now we have this tight end running the drag route and Kittle running the deep in. It's just another way to accomplish the same exact outcome that we're looking to accomplish with the play action wide receiver in. So just showing you again, you can use the same concepts across multiple formations and player personnels. If you found value in this content and you want to support us, make sure you drop a like and a sub, and check out our courses. The link is in the description below. I'll catch you all in the next one.